It's going live. That's why. So I can listen to you.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to let you know that we are excited tonight that you have joined us for our journey to continue our journey to health and wholeness. I'm Kevin Rogers, and I'm really happy that Health Ministries of Capital City Church is able to share this series with all of us. And I'm glad that you're here with us tonight. And as we prepare to get started, this is a great time for you to contact your friends and other people and invite them, share the links um, to this broadcast, so this stream, so that they can join us and join you on this journey tonight to health and wholeness. Now, tonight we are excited that we're going to be learning about plant-based cooking 101, and there's some exciting things in store. And we just want to welcome you. We're glad that you're here to be able to continue this journey with us tonight. Okay. And so um, just get ready for a blessing, and be sure to contact somebody to join us on this journey tonight. We're going to welcome Jael Otieno. Hi, Jael. She is a member of our health ministries team, and she's a nurse. We're glad that you're here to offer prayer for us tonight.
Let us pray. Father who art in heaven, we come to you this day just thankful for the many blessings that you've bestowed upon us. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you that you have taken us about our day and brought us back home safely. We pray, dear Lord, at this time that you may be with our presenter, Carol, and her husband. We thank you for the wisdom that you have given her, and we pray that as she shares this wisdom, that you may give us also the wisdom to understand and apply it to our lives, so that we may be healthy and whole and be ready for your soon coming. We ask for forgiveness of our sins, dear Lord. All that we've done that have not been pleasing in your sight, we pray that you may forgive us. Help us to do good as we move forward. I pray for all the families that are represented here, that you may be with them in all that they do. As we continue, we pray, dear Lord, that you may be with the technology that is helping us to share, that everybody who wants to get on may be able to get on. I thank you and I praise you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Jael. And now we want to bring on our host, our health ministries leader, Sister Cynthia. Cynthia, we want to welcome you again. Thank you so much. I just want to say, first of all, we are thankful for the work that God has helped you to lead out in planning this entire week. We appreciate you, and we just want to let you know how grateful we are. Okay. And I just want to say, last night, it was a huge blessing. I learned a lot about movement and exercise, and it was so thorough, and it was incredible. And I know tonight is going to be no different. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Rogers. Yes. Last night was great. I received several messages from individuals who are just inspired and motivated to move after hearing Neil Davis's presentation on the benefits of movement, and how he just provided so much practical information and specific exercises for all fitness levels. So I want to thank Neil Davis for sharing all of that information with us on yesterday. So today is technically day 3 of our journey to wholeness and health together. And today we're going to actually spend some time focused on nutrition, specifically the power of plant-based nutrition. Now, this is a leg of our journey that can be a little uncomfortable, I understand sometimes, because we're talking about an area of health, nutrition specifically, where making changes or transitioning away from deeply ingrained lifestyle habits can create just a little discomfort. But that is why we're here together. And we are with you on this journey to provide support and encouragement without judgment and full of love. So I ask that you're prayerful as you watch tonight's presentation, as you listen to Carol Wroblewski's personal testimony and watch her cooking demonstration of some very easy to make, hearty, healthy, plant-based dishes. Again, we will capture questions during the presentation, so we'll reserve some time at the end for Q&A. So stay with us throughout the end so we can make sure Carol has an opportunity to answer any questions that you have. Also, again, just take time right now to share the link to this presentation so that someone who you know, a family member, a friend, a colleague, who would be blessed by hearing this information tonight would be able to receive it. So would encourage you to just take time to share at this time. We are going to have, again, a presentation, but also a demonstration. So I'd like to first start just by introducing and sharing a little bit about Carol, and then she will come on and share with you directly her story. But Carol is a licensed psychologist who became involved in health and wellness through a whole food, plant-based approach to nutrition. In 2010, Carol adopted a plant-based diet to maintain an 80-pound weight loss, and also as a means of improving health. Based on her interest in this topic, she earned a certificate in plant-based nutrition from the T. Colin Campbell Foundation, delivered by E. Cornell. She's currently completing her certification training to be a level 1 diabetes educator. Carol provides coaching and support in adopting a path to health. She offers presentations on food addiction and plant-based health, in addition to offering cooking classes and selling prepared plant-based meals. I'm just so excited about the presentation tonight, and I know this was an important part of my health and wholeness journey as I transitioned and continue to transition to eating more plant-based whole foods. So I'm always eager to learn more about how to incorporate this in an easy way, especially with a busy schedule, which I know is for most of us. We want to know how to eat better, but we also want to figure out how to do it in a way that's easy, but also tasty, because we want the food to taste good, right? So at this time, I am going to invite Carol, and she has a sous chef, her friend, Deborah, who is going to be joining us this evening as well. So I'd like to invite them at this time.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And I'm loving the plant-based shirt.
Yes. I thought it was only appropriate, Yes. Yeah. So, well, thank you, Carol and Deborah, for joining us. I'd like for you to share with our audience a little bit more about who you are and your journey to health and wholeness, if you don't mind.
Not a problem. I'll tell you that it started out, personal and professional can get connected. I was working with university students, and I happened to be working at a university where they had a dance program. So at that time, I weighed over 250 pounds, and I was working with dance students who were struggling with anorexia, bulimia, severe body image issues. And it was tough because their whole world was body image and your line when you dance and how you move and whatnot. And I felt ill prepared. I had the academic knowledge to help these folks, but I felt like personally, how can I help someone else when I don't know about my food, my health, my wellness, because I'm carrying around all this excess weight? Fast forward a few years, and I go to the doctor, and she said, in a, bless her, not very tactful way, you've got 6 months to get the weight off, or I'm going to put you on a whole bunch of high blood pressure medication. And that was my come to Jesus moment. And I had some choices to make. And at that time, the first choice I made was to start living my life in a more intentional and mindful manner. So over that first year, I lost 70 or 80 pounds. And then over the next couple of years, I started collecting more information. And I'm still working with the dancers, and I'm still going through my own journey. And now things have shifted to I really am very clear that the food we eat is our health, our wellness, our mind, our spirit. And I will say, when you put living, healthy things in your body, it shows up in your skin, your hair, your eyes, your brain, your heart, your soul. So I started transitioning. And so we're going to talk tonight about transitioning. And at first it was easy for me to give up red meat because I kind of done that. And I'm going to say I've had my lifetime fill of chicken. Good to not do that any longer. Some of the last stops on the train where you had to pry my tightly gripped fingers off of were dairy, eggs, yogurt, cheese. And the true blessing in all of this was every time I thought, when I first went plant-based, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so exhausted and I'm going to feel terrible. And after the first week, I was like, I feel great. So then I thought, okay, give up this. Oh, I still feel great. Let's give up that. Oh, this is feeling even better.
Yeah.
And then it got to be, okay, so now how do I do this on a daily basis, every day, in a world that is not hospitable, number one, to eating healthy, number two, to eating plant-based. And in the process of that, I came upon the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, that Food for Life program that I am with. Let me tell you about the Physicians Committee. They're an amazing group of individuals based out of Washington, D.C., started by Dr. Neil Barnard. And Dr. Barnard believes so strongly about the science and the fact of health that results from eating whole food, plant-based nutrition, that he started this organization on a national basis, the first organization nationally to give this information away.
For free.
Charge, they don't.
Yes.
And I gave the resources on the resource link. And so when I learned about them, then I learned they had these Food for Life instructors that go and do programming in churches, schools. I've done festivals, I've done craft fairs, I've been Veg Fest, you name it. And I thought, this is what I want to do. And then I did a pivot, and I find it fascinating that when you're called, God will lead you where you need to go. And I was led into a series of decisions that helped me, that supported me getting my certification and doing the education that has now resulted in me. I'm 9 years.
Wow.
Having been in PCRM as the Food for Life instructor for Indianapolis, 13 years being plant-based. And here's the thing I'm going to say. I still feel good. My numbers are great. I got my blood work back. My, triglycerides were good. My blood pressure is good. Yes, I am 61, so there are a few things to work on. But my feet are on this side of the dirt today.
Yeah.
And I do credit that with plant-based eating. I come from a family where my father passed from complications of morbid obesity. My mother had heart disease worsened by morbid obesity. This is a disease that affects my family, and I treat this literally as seriously as a heart attack. And so my medicine is what I get to eat every meal, every day, in the form of plants.
Yeah. Thank you, Carol, just for sharing your history. And you said something that really resonated with me so much, and that is you started to focus in on how you felt. as you were transitioning? And I think that's something that we tend to not really, pay attention to. How does an activity or how does a certain food actually make us feel? And if we slow down enough to really think through, like, how did I just feel when I ate this particular, highly processed or highly sugared food product? And, then it helps you to kind of make some informed decisions. And you're not going to feel, terrific immediately, but if you are intentional about tracking that progress and journaling, I think that helps in that transition journey as well.
I'd like to invite my sous chef, Deborah, to join me. And I'm going to talk about Deborah as a wonderfully, happily reluctant, and now joyful plant-based person. We've known one another for 8 years.
Oh, longer than that, I think 10 or 12.
10 or 12 years. And I don't proselytize. I really do believe attraction rather than promotion is the best bet. Mm-hmm. So my husband knows I'm plant-based, bless his little pea-picking heart, pea-picking. And he has lapsed in and out of eating plant-based with me. Mm-hmm. And my friend had seen my journey. And what made you start seriously asking about being plant-based?
Well, I knew that Carol was plant-based. I will say I did appreciate the fact that she didn't, no pun intended, cram that down my throat. Mm-hmm. But I could see that she looked happy and healthy. I knew she was sustaining a significant weight loss and, didn't have health issues. I'm, by the way, older than Carol. I will be 70 years old in just a few months.
Wow.
And, I'd seen all of her books. I'd attended a couple of her cooking demonstrations. And I just picked up saw a book at Half Price Book. And it's like, that's a book that Carol has. So I just picked it up and started reading. And I have an inquiring mind and I want to know. So I started asking questions and that began my journey. And I started slow in the beginning, but I have now been plant-based. It was November the 1st, 5 years ago. So almost 5 years. And I am sustaining about a 70 plus pound weight loss. And my highest weight was at about 240. At 69 years old, I take no medication. I have no health issues. I walk on a daily basis. I feel really good. And it started slow and we just built on it from there.
That is awesome. What a great testimony, and the power of modeling a message that you don't even have to, like you said, you don't have to cram it down anyone's throat. You model it and your life will speak volume. So thank you for sharing that. So we are actually going to transition to a portion of the presentation, and thank you both for sharing. We'll go ahead and make that transition now. I think we're ready for that.
Hi, my name's Dr. Carol Wroblewski. I'm a psychologist, but actually the more important issue is I'm a Food for Life instructor with the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. I represent the Indianapolis area and do cooking demonstrations all across Indianapolis to try and encourage folks to look at eating whole food, plant-based. So my friend, Deborah Ellis, who's also whole food, plant-based, is my sous chef. And she is going to help me. We're going to bring you really great recipes that are tasty, cost-effective, and health-promoting. So the first thing you should know is let's not do anything radical without talking to our doctor and our medical team. The bottom line is our eating really does affect our blood pressure and our cholesterol and our triglycerides and our everything. So if you are going to start eating more plant-based and cutting out salt, you might want to consult with your physician, especially if you're on blood pressure medication. We just don't want to do anything that while we're trying to make things better, that we make them worse. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little education about how and why plant-based eating is supportive of your health and wellness. Going to show you some really great recipes. These are quick and easy. I mean, to the point that it's more easy and quicker than going to the drive-thru. And the way we're going to prove this is I'll have Deborah time me on making a couple of the dishes and then give me the time so we know how long it took to get there. Cost effective. Food's getting more expensive, folks, and we have supply chain issues. So the bottom line is, the more you cook at home, the better prepared you are to eat better anyway. Now, I'm going to tell you just really quickly about my health story. I started changing my life in 2004, and this was me. I weighed in excess of 252 pounds. The day this picture was taken, I weighed 250, no. Months before I had this picture taken, I was at 252. So I'm estimating I was closer to 280 pounds. So what happened was my doctor said, going into my doctor's office, I thought, hey, I was fine. I ate fast food. I drank coffee. I drank soda. I ate a lot of sugar. And hey, I was like, fine, it's no biggie. I walked the mini marathon. I'm a healthy big girl. And my doctor said, no, you're not. Not a healthy big girl. I was the girl who had to get her weight down or she was going to be on blood pressure medication. So this all started in 2004. By the time 2005 rolled around, I was down about 80 pounds, and the remaining 30 pounds came off the following year. In 2008, I read a few books that were life-changing for me, Reverse and Prevent Heart Disease and the China Study, and you can find those at your local library if you're interested, but this is not about that. That's the science about it, and I will be giving you resources that will be on the links that they will send you through the church. And I want to thank the church for putting this information out. This is invaluable. This is the most effective and most easily accessible life-saving information that you could ever have. You're going to be walking, you're going to get exercise, you're getting food information, and you're getting food for your soul through spirit. These all help sustain you and someone else. So bottom line was 2008, I started eating plant-based. That's been 13 years ago. I've maintained within a 10-pound weight range for the last 17 years. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm very thankful. So let me hand you that. And the other thing I want to say is, this is something that is easily accessible. We're going to give you a lot of resources, and I want you to give it away. And the way that we're giving this away today is that there are two families that will benefit from the prospect of us doing this presentation. Both are plant-based, and this will be helpful to them, and this is a way to pass it on. So I'm going to talk to you about, there are no plant-based people here that are mean. Sometimes you hear people say, oh, you have to pick a camp. I eat meat, so I'm a carnivore, or I eat plants only, or I eat plant-based for animals. And this is about your heart, your health, your spirit, your mind, your body. Your food affects all of that. So that's all we're focusing on today. And we are not going to say that there are any bad foods. No bad foods. So let's start with, oh, it's so expensive to eat plant-based. Okay, I'm going to be right back because I'm going to show you a really good example of how to do it wrong and how to do it right. Okay, what we've got here is Morningstar Farms Vegetizer Veggie Sausage Pizza Bites. Are pizza bites a food group? I think not. And these are not necessary. They have, wow, 170 calories for one serving, which is 6 of the bites, 440 milligrams of sodium, and 7 grams of fat. So the bottom line is, this isn't even a food group, but it says veggie on it. So somebody's going to run out and buy it. I'm going to say, if this helps you transition, okay. If you're having plant-based people over for a football function and you really have to do this, although I've got better dishes for the football game, do it. But this is expensive. Originally it was $4. You don't need that. Can of beans, 69 cents. There's as much protein. There's 8 grams of protein in this serving of beans, and there's 9 grams of protein in this. So this is not about protein, this is about your health. So, let's talk, now, you're also gonna be careful about labels. Labels lie. They're gonna say vegan this and supplemented with that and fermented with this and vitamins and nutrients and supplements. Not necessary. The reason why we call it whole food, plant-based, is if you're eating a lime, it looks like a lime. You know where it came from. If you're eating an avocado, you know what an avocado is and where it comes from. Some of the things that you buy in the store are frankenfood, and they don't help you, and you don't know what goes in it. So please remember, if you have your hands on the foods, you know what goes in it, and it's better for your body. Now, next myth. Oh my God, I'm gonna break my budget. I gotta eat only organic foods. Please don't. Something for you to know, like difference between an organic banana and a banana is, yes, it may have been grown organic, but realistically, this has a really great protection mechanism, which is a really thick peel. So you don't need to worry about that. If it's like this is cilantro, something like that, if you want to buy organic, and I'm going to say keep an eye out, know your prices. I've been to the store where the organic and the regular costs the same. But if you can't or don't want to do organic, just wash your vegetables and fruits. That's all. Your goal is to get the fruits and vegetables into you. When you wash it off just regular in the sink, don't buy an expensive fruit wash or vegetable wash, then you're still going to get the nutrients. That's all that matters. Oh, here's another big myth. My nutrition is going to be so poor that I'm not going to feel good at all, and I'm going to have to spend lots of money on all these supplements. No, you don't. The one supplement I want you to look at is B12. I bought this, I think it was, what, $3 or $4?
Not very much at all.
Not much at all. This has 1,000 milligrams of B12. And the bottom line is, it's the only nutrient that none of us get because we don't pick up like our fruits and vegetables from the soil and eat it. The B12 comes from the soil, and so please know, can and will be perfectly healthy unless you have another health condition, again, checking with your physician and nurse practitioner, that requires you to take something. And I want to show you, we're not talking about a big old horse pill here. I'm talking about just this little bubber right here. And this is 1,000 milligrams, and we take that every other day.
I take one every other day because I'm a little older.
Okay, that's the other thing to remember. I'm 61, Deborah's 69. And I will tell you that as we age, actually the recommendations for nutrients and supplements from the USDA is people over 50 should be taking one of these a day. So inexpensive. Again, you can find, be careful if you walk into anywhere I walked into Walmart, I was overwhelmed. They had all these supplements, and I was like, okay, B12, B12, B12. I just need B12. Just stick with the B12. Okay, this is a big one. And I was afraid of this, honestly, when I switched to being plant-based. I was so afraid that I was going to be physically exhausted because, oh my God, I'm not going to get enough protein. Let's talk about protein. Okay, we get more than enough protein. Actually, the average American gets way too much protein. I could do a whole video on this, but we won't. Let's just talk about protein. Protein is one of the building blocks of your healthy diet. The thing I'm going to talk more about is fiber. Fiber is more important to you than protein. But if you want to know about your protein, let's talk about beans. Black beans have 8 grams of protein. Oatmeal. Oatmeal has 5 grams of protein. That's as much protein as is in one egg. So that's one thing for you to know. Another thing for you to know is the foods you're going to be eating are not, it's not one protein, like one piece of protein. It's layers of protein that make an even bigger protein bomb. It's really good. So the dish I'm going to make is going to be black beans. So you're going to get 16 grams of protein, and then salsa, and then corn. Did you know that corn has 2 grams of protein? Get this, lemons and lime even have protein in them. And then even herbs. So every time we put a new ingredient in, that is making a higher and higher and higher protein count. You will not be exhausted. One of the highest, there it is, one of the highest protein foods is, the best part about these green peas, high in fiber and high in protein and cost effective. So please do not worry about the protein. Protein is not a problem. Now, some folks say, oh gosh, when I eat vegetables, I'm hungry all the time. Not so much if you're eating whole vegetables. If you eat whole vegetables, I'm going to tell you, my husband could attest to it. I made him chili yesterday. He was full for hours. He didn't have to worry about being hungry. What's your favorite fiber food?
Beans, hands down.
Beans. Lentils. Little lentils are really high quality and cost effective fiber. So the thing I want you to remember is these foods are really filling, and because they're lower in calories, you can pretty much eat what you want. You can eat to your heart's content. I'm going to say, how much chili can you eat when it's clean? Well, hopefully not a lot, but because our stomach has stretch receptors. Fun fact, your stomach is the size of a cantaloupe, holds 4.22 cups. Stretch receptors. So one of the benefits of eating fruits and vegetables is that you can eat these clean, very low calorie, very high nutrient fruits and vegetables, and beans, peas, legumes, nuts, and seeds that will stretch your stomach out and make you feel full. And it takes a long time. That's the best part, is because you're eating whole beans instead of blitzed up hummus, it takes longer to break it down. It's kind of like if you put a log on the fire versus twigs. The log takes a long time to break down. The twigs will go up like that. And then the thing I will say about fiber, the average American gets half as much as we should. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to get, I thought it was higher than this, but we're only supposed to get a minimum, the minimum requirement is 31.5 grams of fiber a day, and the average American gets 15. Well, let's look at what we're going to be doing today. Fiber, just in these beans, 9 grams. You're almost there. Fiber in the corn, 2 grams. There's 11. fiber in the salsa, 1 gram, there's 12. You could get half of your daily requirement of fiber just from one meal. How cool is that? So if you eat 3, and I'm going to say you don't need to go all plant-based all the time, but the more meals that you make all plant-based, it will help you. So I love the idea of Meatless Monday. Try it. Try going a whole day, and we'll talk about that. And then last, well, not last, but soon, plants upset my stomach. I'm going to be honest. If you are not used to eating fiber and plants, it will take you a while to get used to it. Did you have some bloating and discomfort?
A little bit, but I just started with smaller servings of things like beans and legumes.
So I love that if you training wheel your way into it, and the beans, peas, and legumes are your highest fiber, your biggest content. So just be honest. Everybody has a little bloating here and there. Everybody has a little gas here and there. So it's not like this makes it worse. You may get used to it. I promise you, it gets better. It really does. Then plant foods don't have any taste. Well, let's talk about why. When you're eating like the veggie bites that have a ton of sodium in them and they're high in fat, your taste buds are ruined. Well, here's the great thing about our taste buds. They turn over, is it every 7 or 10 days?
I don't remember.
I believe it's every 10 days we get a new set of taste buds. If you are eating plant-based for 10 days, your taste buds will be happy and really appreciate the foods that you're going to have. And here's how eating plant-based can be a help. Things like dried fruits and vegetables. Like I use chopped chives instead of regular chives because I don't want to waste stuff.
Quicker.
The recipes today, cilantro. Now, let's be honest about cilantro. There's a cilantro gene, and 50% of people love cilantro and 50% think it tastes like soap. Where are you on cilantro?
I love cilantro.
Oh, good. I do too. My husband's saying no bueno on cilantro, and that's okay. But that's how we get flavor in plant-based foods. So the recipes today, cilantro, lime, lemon, garlic, cumin. We're going to add a little hot sauce, although everybody's relative in that. So you want to know that fruits and vegetables have wonderful flavors on their own, but you can really amp it up when you use your spices. Now, something I'm going to tell you is these recipes today have minimal salt, and I will be perfectly honest, when I make them for my household, I don't use any salt. What do you do?
I use light salt, low sodium.
Low sodium. So you can do this. These are low sodium anyway. They can taste okay without them, and you can make them low sodium. Now, just something quickly about sweeteners. The sweeteners we're going to use today are bananas. And I'm going to be honest, I couldn't find a black enough banana for me. This was the darkest I could find. And if you come to my house at pretty much any time, I got some skins that are the most flavorful and give the sweetness so we don't have to use sugar. Just an FYI on taste buds and sugar. If you take, what's your favorite fruit when it's perfectly ripe?
Probably bananas and apples.
Okay, if you take a banana, and that's our baseline on sweet, and and FYI, when you get sugar from fruit, it's not going to kill you. It's not bad. Some people say that it's bad. I'm just going to say, if you can just trust me in these recipes to use it, do your research. But here's the thing about sweeteners. If the sweetness of a perfectly ripe banana will make the same amount of table sugar the baseline, anytime you use any artificial sweetener, Splenda, stevia, NutraSweet, Equal, xylitol, mannitol, sucralose, agave nectar, those are 300 to 2,000 times sweeter than this banana. So if you can, please get rid of those, because then it's going to make this banana taste even better. Okay, and I don't have time. This is the last big mess. I don't have time to do all sorts of cutting and fussing, and I don't want you to be overburdened by eating this way. I'm a big believer in frozen foods. Or if you do buy some produce, chop it up, take your serving for today and freeze it. How do you manage the...
Well, for the recipe for today, I would make that in a double batch, and I would freeze half of it so there's enough for today to feed us for at least 2 days.
Yes.
The 2 of us. And then I have more in the freezer that I can bring out next week and thaw, and I've only cooked once.
There you go. So I'm going to say double batch, frozen foods and canned foods. And we're going to talk about the canned foods. The recipe that we're going to make actually in a minute has black beans, and they said low sodium. I found no salt added beans at Kroger. They were 69 cents a can. These are from, I think these were from Costco or Aldi. And these have 85 milligrams of sodium. If you need to watch your sodium, let me tell you my trick for anything. Take your regular, it has sodium in beans, and you just dump it out. And then some recipes will ask you to reserve the bean goo. I don't know, that's what I call it. It's the what's been cooked with it.
Aquafaba.
Aquafaba, that's true. Thank you, ma'am. And what I'll say is, if I want to make sure that these are half of what the sodium is on the label, all I have to do is run this under water, and that washes half the sodium away. So, happen that I have salt-free, but that will also, you don't have to buy special things for that. And then last, plant-based food is fussy and wasteful. No, it's not. Today we're going to have a garbage bowl, and I'm going to be putting the peels and the stems and things in there. I compost, and I have a composter, so you could do that. Or and when it comes to vegetables, I actually I'll show you my vegetables. Okay, you may not be able to see this, but these are mushroom stems, and these are butternut squash peels. I keep celery stems. We'll salvage every little bit we can.
Shake it up.
Shake it up.
There you go.
Thank you, ma'am. So,
Waste not, want not.
there we go. Every little precious bit. Now we take our frozen corn. I actually have left the corn out on the counter so that it would be thawed. You can leave it out the night before. You don't have to have frozen corn. I just liked it because I knew I had it in the freezer. There you go, madame. Now, lime. The reason why I love the lime in this is it is absolutely wonderful. It's fragrant. It is, and it adds a lot of oomph. The thing for you to know is that the acid receptors on your tongue are right next to your salt receptors. So when you add acid to your dishes, then you are actually your tongue may think you're getting more salt than you do. I'm gonna use the whole lime. And FYI, if you need to, and I've done it myself, I don't know about you, I keep jars of lemon and lime juice.
I keep the lemon, yeah.
And just use that. And I'm gonna put in just what is, and this is a good juicy one. Yeehaw! So that's where our garbage bowl helps. And I'm going to tell you, this juicer, I found on clearance at Kroger the first time. I now have 3 of them. I take them on my cooking demonstrations. They go everywhere with me. And then our cilantro. Now, again, cilantro can taste like soap to folks. Other people love it. I'm going to do the whole, this said, I'm going to make it as it's recommended. Oh, love that. And fun, have you seen these?
No, I've never seen those.
Okay, folks, fun fact, these are called herb shears. They're, it's some crazy set of shears that you can, so when I cut it, I'm not having to dice. But you know what? If you've got plain old scissors, those work great also. And don't not use your stems. Your stems have tons of flavor in it. So I'm just going to cut until I can't cut any longer. So we got that, and then I will stir.
You tell me when you want me to hit this stop on the timer.
Let me get completely stirred, and then we'll hit stop. Okay, so if you want to zoom in, and this is your Yes You Can chili that has 243 calories for 1 serving, 13 grams, so almost your half of what you need in a day in 1 bowl. Minimal sugar, 15 grams of fiber, minimal. Okay, so hit stop.
4 minutes and 40 seconds.
Say it again.
4 minutes and 40 seconds.
4 minutes, 40 seconds. Done. Now, granted, this needs to be warmed up further to be warmer, and I'm going to turn on low so we don't completely burn it up. But there you go, folks. Tell me how that could not be a quick, easy after-work dinner. And let's estimate the price. We had 2 cans of beans, so that's $2. We had salsa, that was $1.50, so $2.50.
That's $3.50.
$3.50. Corn was $1, $4.50. Lime was 60 cents.
Okay, so that it's $5.10. It's
$5.10.
actually a little less than that.
Cilantro would have been about 50 cents.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do just one little shake. It said hot sauce, but I don't know for the people I'm cooking for. I want to be careful. So I'm just going to do just a little drop. And again, remember, the acid and the heat is right next to the salt receptors. So if you like salt, then that's going to amp it up. So for under $6.
Under $6.
We've got a meal that would fit. How many do you think we could feed?
I would say probably 4 large servings with that, 6 small servings. So you're feeding for $1 roughly a serving.
So here you go, folks. $1 a serving. If you want and need to, crackers. You could get bagged salad for $1.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got some other things that'll go with it. So any questions or feedback about the Yes You Can chili?
And super easy, and again, I would double batch that. Freeze half of it for another day without having to cook again.
Wonderful. Now, I'm going to show you, we're going to make a really cool dish. I'm going to move this over. And Deborah, would you please hand me the kit for the, yes, green pea guacamole.
Guacamole?
Guacamole. And we'll also get the actual, we're going to show you the guacamole and get this.
Can I do something?
No, we're good now. Okay. Deborah, you've had the guacamole, correct?
I have had the guacamole.
And what do you think of it?
I really like it. What I notice is it's tasty, but I don't have that heavy fat feel that comes from too much, all the extra avocado in the real guacamole.
Okay, this is our guacamole. The reason why it's mock is it's half avocado and half green peas. And I'll explain to you, one is, it's a lot more cost effective, folks. One avocado, would you please hand me one of the big avocado there?
Yeah.
This was $2.50. Now, if you go to some of your markets, you can find them for $1 on sale. If you make regular guacamole at home, you're using just avocado. Yes, avocado is a good fat, but it's an expensive good fat. This cuts the fat in half and it bumps up the fiber. So you're able to eat more of it.
And it bumps up the protein.
Oh yes, it definitely bumps up the protein. So, so the total fat grams are adjusted and it's wonderful. So here's how we do it. Let me get my stuff here.
When you want me to hit the timer.
Okay. Start the timer now. And the thing I want you guys to know is this could be your dip for Super Bowl, to put on taco salad, to put in a wrap, whatever you want. You don't have to use a high-speed blender. You could use just a regular food processor, anything that you want. So, something for you to learn. And did you know that the #1 hand injury is from people who have mishandled and cut themselves peeling avocado?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes. So here's how you do it, folks. Take your avocado, take your knife, and be very careful. Just slice it, and then I roll it around the pit till I get back to the center. And then I turn it, and that's done. Here's where the injuries happen. Be very careful. All you want to do is you want to take your knife and go into your pit, and then you're done. Ah, it won't come off. There we go. But that's how people hurt themselves, so please be very careful. Now, you can see this is a really good avocado. Great accident, because sometimes you don't know. And all you do is just scoop it out, because the food processor will be doing all the work. So there's half, and the other half. And that was $2.50.
Okay. The peas are a lot less expensive than that.
The peas were $2.50 for the whole bag. And what I did was I just ran them under warm water. So this is 1 cup of, you can use fresh, frozen, or canned. Just drain them, and if they're frozen, you just want to thaw them. So we put those in. Now, we've got our salsa. So it's mild salsa, and it calls for ½ a cup. Here's why I like this. I'm not chopping onions and doing all sorts of stuff. I'm just using all the flavor that's already in the salsa. And presto, there we go. Garlic. Fun fact about garlic. If you take the garlic clove, instead of fighting it and take it, smash it, and your peel comes right off.
I do tend to cheat with my garlic. I'll buy it already minced.
You know what? You can absolutely do that. I'm going to show you my lazy girl garlic. I love this thing. This is, it's a lemon zester.
Okay.
Guess what? It does garlic too. So I take my 1 clove of garlic, and I could leave the garlic clove whole, but I really do want this dispersed throughout the guacamole. So presto, done. And then green onion. This is really great. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the little end off, and you don't have to add this, but this adds so much flavor. And again, color, bright green, anything that has color has nutrients in it. So I'm just gonna chunk this in here because, as we know, that's gonna take care of the rest. And now we do our lemon. So we've got our lemon, and I'm rolling it. You can either pop it in your microwave for, is it 10, 15 seconds? Or I just roll it, and I am going to use, it says 3 tablespoons or to taste. And bottom line is my taste is whatever in the lemon. So, and this is how you get your strength training. Every last bit. And one more, the other half. I'm telling you, it's helping my grip strength. Okay, there's that.
If you prefer lime, Carol, could you use lime with that instead if you like the taste of lime?
If you like lime, you can definitely do lime. Now next, I'm going to talk really quickly about cumin. Cumin is one of the curcumin. This spice is known to help health, blood pressure, inflammation. Indian foods that have a lot of cumin and curcumin and chili powder that has it in it is very helpful. So we're supposed to put in a half a teaspoon. And honestly, I would usually do more because I kind of overdo my cumin. But we'll do exactly what it calls for and pop that in there. And you may be new to this. Please make the recipes as listed the first time and then just edit. It's no big deal. And then FYI, I used a green onion. If you don't have a green onion at home, I use dry. I often get them at the Dollar Tree because they sell a lot and they turn them over. Garlic. Oh, I don't have fresh garlic. Powdered garlic, dried garlic works just as well. Then we're going to do our cilantro, and since the blender's going to do the work, I'm just going to chunk it in there. And then salt to taste. Would you please hand me the wooden, there we go. We'll just put in a little, and I mean a little. That's the salt to taste I'm putting in. There we go. Thank you, ma'am. And then black pepper and okie dokie. Since we are good to go. Now, folks, don't kill your guacamole. You're just gonna pulse. And what we're gonna do is just a little, so we wanna blend it, we just don't wanna kill it. So ready?
You want it to still be a little chunky.
You want chunky. Okay, shut off my timer.
7 minutes and 39 seconds.
7 minutes, 39 seconds, and really,
You were talking.
I was talking, and there was nothing here that you might not have had at home. So here's what it looks like. Now, I'm going to show you my tip for chips. These I made at home. I bought white corn tortillas, and I cut them up and I put them on 350, and that's it.
In the oven.
In the oven. I didn't even turn them over. Would you like to try one?
Sure.
Here you go. I'll let you serve yourself.
All right. Oops, I missed.
Can you get it?
I can get a little bit. That's to die for.
And
So
the chip. Do you mind that those don't have salt on them?
No, not at all, because the flavor is in the guacamole.
So there you go. Okay. So we got that done.
I want some more.
And here's the best part is, this entire bag of tortillas, they're corn, so it's a whole food. This whole bag of tortillas are gonna make tons of chips. If you want them to be salty and have flavor, you could spray them, put it in a spray bottle, some lime juice, and maybe some chili spices or something like that, and then you've got flavored chips. So no big deal. Okay, next up, we are gonna make fruit ambrosia. Now, any of you that are as old as I am, so old, would remember ambrosia. It used to be fruit in mayonnaise with sugar and stuff. I have made this for normal people who eat sugar, who eat regular foods. And cameraman, have you had this?
Oh, of course.
And do you
Every
like
chance I get.
Okay. This is amazing. I'm going to show you. It's very quick and easy. So Deborah,
Yes, ma'am.
let's start timing.
Alrighty.
Now, the things that we're using here, you do not have to use coconut, real coconut. If you don't like real coconut, you can use coconut extract. So what we do, this is quick and easy. I bought a can of pineapple in its own juice. Don't feel that you need to have to go buy a regular pineapple. You can buy crushed, or you can buy chunks, always in its own juice. I drained it so it doesn't make things soupy. So there's the juice. Save it, use it for something else, but that goes in.
I would put that juice in my oatmeal in the morning.
Oh, baby, would that be good. Now, easy peasy way to use the oranges. Slice off the end. And then you can just take off the peel. You can cut it off, or you could just take it off. And all we're going to do is dice it. There's this fancy thing called supreming, where you cut in between all the segments. Don't do it. It's not worth your time. Life's too short. You want to enjoy your fruit. So here it is. And again, if you are diabetic and if you have been told by your physician not to eat fruit, that's between you and your physician. I'm encouraging you, if you are able medically to have it, please do. And then we're just going to dice it up real quick here.
Well, it's so loaded with vitamins and minerals. And
Did you know that oranges have vitamin C, but so does the pineapple and an apple? An apple has as much vitamin C as an orange.
really?
Yeah. So you're getting vitamin C all over the place also. So here's our pineapple and our orange. And now we add 1 sliced banana. So again, just chuck it. And then you can go down the center,
I like to do that.
and then it just makes smaller bites. And I'm going to say, use your personal preference on how ripe you like your bananas. On this, I like them like firmer, because then you aren't getting it so mushy.
I like them. They still have a little body to them.
Yes. And then we use a 1/4 cup, an 1/8 of a cup, but I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of the, I found less sugar craisins. So we'll throw those in. So now we, oh, I'm going to leave it because we're going to get some banana bites.
Okay.
Okay, so now we've got our fruit in, and for a little extra flavor, we're going to use 1 tablespoon of orange juice concentrate. So this is just frozen orange juice. And I'm going to take 1 tablespoon. You can tell it's been sitting out a little bit. And that's going to give you extra sweet, but natural sweet. And then our almond extract. And this is a 1/2 teaspoon. This is, I don't know how to tell you how good this is. Do you have a word for it?
It's just soothing.
And so you just put that in there. And again, if you don't like coconut, I'm going to make this with the coconut extract since the persons I'm making it for, I'm not sure that they will like it. So I will do I'll do a little more. Whoops. We'll have a lot of coconut extract. And stop the timer. We're done.
Okay. 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
4 minutes, 30 seconds. Oh my
Can I smell it?
God, that smells so good. And I'm going to tell you, I've taken this to carry-ins and pitch-ins and parties and functions. No one even knows that there's not sugar in it. Okay, last up, I'm going to show you. And again, I'm going to have my taste tester, Deborah, the wonderful. These are oatmeal banana bites. So Deborah, would you like to taste one?
Sure, I'll take a small one right here in the center.
Okay. Oh, we got one from the
Camera
cameraman.
guy's getting in on it.
Cameraman.
Chewy. Tasty.
These are. These are.
I want to picture me eating it.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you, these are a staple in our household because I didn't put the second orange in here, so I'll do that real quick. So we'll add a minute to my
To your time.
to my time because sometimes we get excited and we jump ahead. The oatmeal banana bites. I do not eat chocolate because for me it's a danger food. If I start, I don't stop. So for me, I don't do the chocolate. You can do raisins. Deborah did craisins in hers, and we've made them plain. My husband prefers raw walnuts so that when they're baked in there, it tastes kind of like
Chewy
banana,
and crunchy. Yeah.
and like banana bread. So we'll do this real quick. And again, the oatmeal banana bites, I have given those to my friends' kids and they go nuts. We're almost done. So we're going to be done in just a minute then. Because then we're going to take time for question and answer. Okay, now we're officially done with that one. Okay, oatmeal banana bites. I used my mixing bowl. Here we go. Thank you. What we do is, and this is so easy. And may I have the small, yeah.
Which one?
Not that one, the blender cup. There we go.
There you go.
Thank you. For those of you who see on the recipe oat flour, start my timer.
Okay.
Don't buy oat flour. You have oat flour. It's your oats. I made earlier my oat flour from oats. I put the oats in my NutriBullet and it whizzed it up. That's your oat flour. Please do not waste money. You can spend a lot of money on prepared flours. Not necessary. So we're going to take our banana, and it says pureed. So we're just going to take it. Now I would like that spatula, please.
Plus, Carol, if you make your own oat flour, you're not buying a big bag that's going to sit in the cabinet and the rest of it's going to get old.
Exactly, because you can let that stuff sit for days. Voila! Pureed banana. I will be honest, it doesn't look the most appealing. But, okay, if you will, thank you. We're going to rinse that off and get the goo out. Now,
Carol, if anyone doesn't have a NutriBullet, my husband found ours at Goodwill.
actually, she's found a couple of them at Goodwill.
Oh.
And I'm going to say you don't need a NutriBullet. You could use a regular blender. I'll be perfectly honest. My husband and I like the chunks of banana. So we take our overripe banana and I take my old school potato masher. And that's how I do it. So now, I always put my wet stuff together. So
Can I take that for you?
I will let you. Thank you. Now we want a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So since I've already got my wet in, I'll put more wet in. There we go. So we've got that, and then we're gonna do, a little sea salt, please, a little bitty.
It's in there somewhere.
There we go. Teeny, thank you, sea salt. And then we want baking powder, and we want a teaspoon. I'm gonna do a couple of the dry ones here. 1, 2, 3. That turns it into a teaspoon. And then we're gonna do, this is cinnamon. Oh, and if you have not tried, please try like the, it's called Indonesian or Oriental cinnamon. It's wonderful. So there's our cinnamon. And we've got our salt. We're not doing any chips. We do 1 cup of the oat flour that you made yourself. And I'm proud of you for saving money. Because this entire container of oats was 259 pennies. $2.59. So there's the oats, and then 1 cup of rolled oats. So we'll do the rolled oats, and then we just stir it up.
Here, I'll get that out of the way.
Thank you, ma'am. And the beauty about the banana is it serves as the fat and the sweetener. Now, you can see that this is a little dry. It depends on the day and your ingredients. I will probably take a banana and a quarter of a banana and just mash it up in here, so because I like the pieces of the baked banana.
You know, another alternative, Carol, is to add a little bit of unsweetened applesauce.
You can do a little unsweetened applesauce, but I'm so banana-y. So I'm going to stop here with the cooking demo, because you know what I would do is, and how many minutes did this take?
That was 4 minutes and 27 seconds.
4 minutes and 27 seconds to bananas ready to go. They take 14 and a half minutes in a 350 degree oven. And then they're great. They're shelf stable.
What's the best way to put them on the cookie sheet?
If you have so we got, and this is another way to save fat, because again, the banana is the fat in the, I know what I'm going to put in there to moisten it up. I'll put a little orange. That'll make it a little sweeter and a little wetter. But parchment paper is useful because what it does is it stops you. You don't have to use butter or cooking spray or oil. And then, so now this is actually wet enough with that orange juice. And this is where is the marking? This is a 2 tablespoon scooper. So now I can portion control, and I just take my banana bite and pop it on my tray. And you can put them as close together as you would like, because they're not gonna, these don't expand. And that doesn't look the prettiest, but you get the idea. So there you have it, folks. 4 dishes in a half hour. We started halfway through this presentation. You have dinner. You have an appetizer in the guacamole. You have fruit as an appetizer or dessert, and for a snack later in the day, you got oatmeal and banana bites. There you go. Thank you so much. And let's take your questions now.
All right. Oh my goodness, Carol, that was amazing. It was so simple and delicious, and I got hungry, so I had to grab an apple for a snack because everything looks so appetizing. So we do have a few questions that came through. So the first question is from Gloria Ford, and she asked, why is it so difficult for men to go on a plant-based diet? Is it? Yeah, so we'll just kind of start there. Yeah.
A very good question. And it's tough because part of it is our culture. You know, what starting in the 40s and 50s, you know, protein is meat. And there's something about the manliness of it. How many guys do you know that are like, I'm a big grill master and I'm out there burning in charcoal and whatever. I think it's the other part of trusting the medical literature. I'm not saying that many men don't, but I think women, I'm a psychologist, but this is me saying, this is just Carol. That's all I'm saying, is that we may be a little more flexible and willing to try something different and trust that we will be sustained by it. You know, if I made you a really good lentil loaf, and I'm going to tell you, I can make you a really good lentil loaf. Are you going to say, oh, I'll have a lentil loaf sandwich versus a meatloaf sandwich? The other part is it's just so unfamiliar. So it depends on the man. I will say, Deborah, come here real quick and tell them about your husband and his plant-based.
Okay. So my husband did agree to start this with me. Actually, he was really on board. It's like we did what was called a 21-day kickstart. And the idea was I can do anything for 21 days. And if I don't like it, I can go back to what I was doing on day 22. So my husband's a pretty open-minded guy, and he was willing to try that with me. And he'll pretty much eat whatever I put in front of him and tell me whether he likes it or not. But it really, it surprised us because it was flavorful. It was tasty. It took some time for our taste buds to recalibrate, but he was definitely on board to try anything, you know, as an experiment. I continued. He will still eat what I prepare that's plant-based. That doesn't mean he won't eat something else while I'm at work during the day. But, you know, it's each person has to make their own choice.
Yeah, yeah. And Carol, do you have any, thank you for that, Deborah. Do you have any specific suggestions about what you did personally? Because I know your husband is not a fully plant-based whole food. So how do you go about that process so that you're not, creating some negative emotions and experience for those who have not made that decision? Because this obviously is a journey, and it's a personal journey, right? But we want people to see the benefits without them being offended because we have made this decision, right?
What is it? The best defense is a good offense. I learned early on that getting in people's faces and saying, really, please try this. This is really good. And honestly, the second I said it's plant-based, people were like, ooh. So they decided things before I even showed them the dish. What has been interesting now that I've been doing this for 13 years is my husband has things that he likes. So he will cook his own things, and then I will make my plant-based things. What's really interesting is he'll say, can I have a taste of that?
Right.
My favorite example is my sister and brother-in-law. I love them. And my brother-in-law is the guy that has the big green egg and he's got like grills and smokers and you name it. So every holiday that I go to their house, I bring my own food. It's just easier.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really lovely is when they learned that I'm pretty picky about my plant-based for me, because I for my health issues, I don't do salt, I don't do sugar. So I said, and then it took the burden off them to say, oh my God, what are we going to prepare for her?
Right.
And
yeah.
they said, oh, no, this is great. I'll make exactly what I want. All I need is your microwave to nuke it. You guys eat whatever you want. And again, the example of when I go with them, I don't turn up my nose at the stuff they're eating. I don't say anything about that. And I quietly eat my meal. And every meal for the last 14 years, well, we've been together 14 years and I've been plant-based 13. Every meal, every holiday, hey, can I have a taste of what's that?
Yeah, that's great.
So just remember, attraction rather than promotion. If you make good food, and I'm telling you, the food we made in this program really is good. If they taste it, they'll come back. You don't have to shove it or chase them.
That's a great point. There was another question. This was about the type of salsa you use. I know you mentioned for your beans, you went to Aldi's, which we know we can get very economically priced items there. So not that we're promoting any particular brand, but.
No.
Okay.
But honestly, I will go and buy like the Aldi's mild 6 at a time. Their numbers are good. I stand and read the numbers, and actually, when I was looking at the numbers on, I'll be honest, I'm picky because here's a creepy stat, which is they've started putting high fructose corn syrup in some salsas. I don't want that. I don't want that. I just want salsa.
Right.
So the Kroger brand was fine. No high fructose corn syrup in it. It's just, I just want to see a bunch of vegetables, and they may put a little citric acid in it so it doesn't turn, and some salt. Fine by me. So buy it where you like. There's nothing fancy or special about it other than make sure there's no junk in it.
Okay. All right. Another question from Gloria Ford. She asked, are most of your recipes gluten-free, and how do you feel about gluten?
Okay. I have done a lot of reading about gluten-free. And I'm going to say, I want you, again, to go and consult with your medical team. If you are having a reaction, some people get like mucusy and cough, and some people have true celiac where they are having gastrointestinal awfulness. We all make our choices based on our personal needs and preferences in health. So what I'm going to say is it just happened. All of the PCRM recipes that we did tonight were gluten-free. They will have some that have gluten here and there. If you want to substitute a gluten-free option, you're welcome to. Nutritionally, again, I have seen some things that say that wheat is not that bad for the general public. It really is predicated on your specific health issues and any testing that you've had done. So I just want you to be healthy. And if eating gluten-free is going to get you to eat it, make it gluten-free. That's all I care about.
Okay, thank you for that. There was a question about, do you have any cookbooks? Obviously your recipes were very appetizing to a lot of our viewers. Do you have these published someplace?
I got them from PCRM, the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. What I will tell you is each one of Dr. Barnard's books have recipes in the back. Can I ask you a favor?
Sure.
You know where the home office is?
Uh-huh.
Would you go up and grab a couple of Barnard books?
Sure.
My sous chef's going to do a little trek to show. We can show you a couple of the cookbooks.
Okay.
Each one of his books have the recipes. But here's the thing. Go straight to the website. Plug in my favorite thing to do with the PCRM website is to go in the search bar under recipes and then type in zucchini. Because right now I have a bunch of zucchini in my refrigerator. And then boom, all the recipes that have zucchini in it show up. If you want rice and beans, you type in rice and beans. Boom, all the PCRM recipes, that have rice and beans in it will pop right up.
Okay.
And so they have all of their recipes on the site there. The books that I pull the most from is the Cancer Survivor's Guide. It was one of the early books that he did, and you may be able to find it at Half Price Books or a resale place for not very expensive. A lot of really, really good basic recipes are in there. The fruit ambrosia, I think the Yes You Can chili is in there. The other one is the 21-day quick start that I almost made from Power Foods for the Brain. Black bean brownies. Now, I know y'all are going to say, that's crazy, Carol. You cannot have black beans and a brownie. That's gross. And I'm going to tell you, they are wicked good. And that's in Power Foods for the Brain. So any one of the Dr. Barnard's books have the recipes, but they give them away.
Yeah, I actually have the app. So I can, it's so convenient, and you can search by category, and it's so easy to find different recipes at varying levels. You don't have to be an expert at cooking to be able to make these dishes. They're so simple. So we are actually going to have some of the resources that you sent over to me that you recommend. We'll make sure that we get that information, including the recipes that you demonstrated tonight. And then there were a few additional bonus recipes that we will make sure that we send out to everyone who signs up at ccitysda.org with your email address. That way we can get this information out to you. So do not forget to sign up so that we can get all of this wonderful information out to you soon. Okay.
And the thing I'm going to tell you is, as I flip through the recipes, this is the 21-day kickstart. What I love about the PCRM recipes is they're no more than 10 or 12 ingredients. I mean, this is not like you have to do a 3-day process, and they're straightforward.
Yeah. They are easy. Well, Carol, I know Deborah was going to go get some of the other resources. Is she back
She's
yet?
back. Yeah,
Okay.
but that's the only one she could find. So,
Okay. All right. Well, I just want to, if Deborah can come back into the screen, I want to, I just want to thank you both so much for taking time to share with us and helping us learn how simple and easy it is to incorporate plant-based whole foods into your everyday lifestyle. I know for me personally, it was transformative in my health. And so one of the things I talked about at the very beginning is connecting to how you feel. And that's my biggest motivator, is that I remember how I felt before versus how I feel now. And I just have so much more energy, and the health issues that I was dealing with previously, I'm not dealing with those issues. So I know that I contribute a lot of that to the changes I made in my diet. And it was a journey. It was we're on this journey. It was a slow transition. And so I just love to share this information with others, especially if they're in a situation where they may be dealing with some health issues, and this transition can really help them in their journey also. So I want to thank you.
let me say quickly, if you are in a health crossroads, that you can make a difference in as little as 3 weeks, as we've seen in the diabetes series.
Yeah.
You may not come off all your medication. You do need to be under doctor's supervision, but 3 weeks of not putting junk, it's like putting cheap gas in your car where it's like, no more cheap gas. Do really clean, cheap food that's healthy. And your body, literally 3 weeks, they have evidence of responding, and also blood pressure changing. So
yeah, great point. That's a great point. You gave us so many different wonderful tips. I mean, the whole heat and acid receptors on the tongue, that was such an important thing to know, because that actually really does help us reduce the amount of sodium that we're intaking. So thank you for sharing those tips. And I'm going to go find me some herb shears now as well. So once again, thank you, Carol and Deborah, and to your husband, Tom, who actually recorded. I appreciated just all of you being willing to invest in us tonight. And I wish you the best. We are going to stay connected because I know that there's lots of wonderful information and cooking classes that you are prepared to share with us down the road. And so we will stay connected and figure out how we can get those to as many individuals as possible. So I look forward to continuing to partner with you.
Great. Thank you so much. I so appreciate the work that you're doing, and that you're sharing an abundance of blessings through doing this.
Thank you.
And it is my pleasure to be with you.
Thank you both. Blessings to you both. All right, we are going to close out with prayer, and I just want to thank all of you for joining. Please don't forget to share this wonderful presentation with your friends and family as well, okay? Father God, we thank you so much for another day of life that you've given to us. We know that each day is a gift. Each moment that we are present, it's because that you have a purpose for us, Lord. And so you have given us another opportunity today to receive information that is beneficial to our health. And so we ask that you would help us to not only receive it, but to apply it, that you would continue to help us on each leg of this journey as we continue to learn and grow together. We ask that you would continue to bless our presenters as they go out and minister and share this information with other individuals. Thank you again, and we just honor you and glorify your name. And thank you just for being such a good father to us. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. All right, tomorrow we will come back 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Wellness Wednesday, where we'll focus on stress management and self-care. See you tomorrow evening. Thank you.